Hey everybody, it's Jeff with Wiseman Automotive. Today I am working on a 2001 Chevy Express. It is a 2500, just a 3/4 ton van, and it has the 5.7 liter in it. This is no ordinary van. This is the bomb A-Team van. Yeah, cool stuff, right? All right, so the reason why it's in here is because, uh-oh, it failed inspection. And let me tell you something. I pity the fool that fails the A-Team inspection. Yeah. So the reason why it failed was, one reason was because the battery hold down wasn't connected. So I went ahead and connected that securely. So now that is good to go. But the other reason is because of the brake lights. And I've been kind of messing with this. I don't know if I can duplicate what it was doing before, but the brake lights, whenever you hit the brakes, the light would shine like it should, like it is doing right now. But then when you turn on the headlights, um, it would go out. And it was really weird. And I'm going to show you how I figured it out. So I just went and turned on the the headlights, and everything's working fine now. But it's because I was messing with this. This right here is the ground wire. Whew, that thing is hot. Hot, hot, hot. And watch this. If I take and move this thing around like that, see it get brighter and dimmer? Okay, so these things had a problem with the water coming down the pillar here, and it gets into this connector, and then it corrodes it. So I may end up taking this apart, but if you take this apart in the ground side, you're going to see a lot of corrosion there. But if I can move this ground back and forth like this, and see how the thing gets dimmer, then you know that something's wrong. Also, this thing has a tremendous amount of heat, which shouldn't be this hot. Not the bulb, but the connector itself. I mean, it is extremely hot. Like, I can't even lay my finger right here. So you don't have to be like an electrical diagnosing guru to understand this. I mean, I just put my hand here. I can't put my hand right here. It is so hot. So something is definitely going wrong. If you can move wires like this, I'm not even moving that much. Just moving a little bit. You can see right there that it's changing. See, look at that. Okay? You know that there's something wrong with this socket. Okay? As a matter of fact, when I smell it, I can even smell it burning. Okay? When I wiggle it around, I can even hear just a little bit of crunchiness in there. So I know there's a lot of resistance in there. So what I'm going to do, we are going to replace that socket. I ordered one from a local parts jobber down the road here at Fisher's, Federated Auto Parts. It is a S829, and this is a pigtail, and we're just going to wire this dude in there and see if that doesn't fix our problem. So bear with me. Okay, so what I did was I clipped these off, okay, and I left just a little bit of wire on there so that way I could tell what wire goes with what. So my black one, which is the outside one, that goes to ground, because on your new pigtail, as you notice, all these are white. The middle one goes to your brown wire, and your outside one goes to your white wire. So now I got that fixed. See if I move this back and forth, there's no you can tell that the lights are staying the same. Right now I have my brake lights on and my headlights on. Okay, so now that should be good. So let's make sure it fits in here real nice. Sometimes your aftermarket parts, you can have a little bit of a problem with fitment going back into place here. Have to make sure we get it fitted just right. Okay. Okay. All right. Fit up there. Okay. So this light is burning. That light is burning with the brake lights. Okay. Now I'm going to go turn my brake lights off. Okay, now my brake light's off, so you can still see they're both burning. Alrighty, now you can see just my brake lights on, and you can see it's nice and bright. Now, if you look, we still have a problem. Look at this guy. Notice that that's barely on. See how he's nice and bright? And this one, you can barely tell is even on. This one's not lit up at all because I don't have my running lights on, just my brake lights. I'm trying to look in there. See that? So we still have a problem here on this side. Now watch this. Watch when I turn my headlights on. So I have my brake lights on and my headlights on. This light went out. That light is now dimly illuminated. So now I need to look at this connector on this one. I don't know how well you can tell, but this is a dual filament bulb, which means there's two filaments in there. One of them is lit up and one of them is barely lit up. I mean, just barely. Should be a lot brighter than that. So now it's time to take this taillight out. What you're going to need to do that, you're going to need a 10mm socket, I think a 7mm socket, and I want to say it's a 15 socket. Okay, so up here there's a 7 right here and a 7 right there. Get my can't get my socket on there. Got that one. I get the right angle. Okay, so there's two 7s holding that one, and then there's a 15. So there's a 7 here and a 7 there, and there's a 15 right there. And you do have to take, as far as I know, you got to take this upper thing off to get to the bolt to the bottom. Okay, took this dude off. It's a weird looking kind of nut thing, 15mm. There is a washer behind there. All right, so I'm going to take that, sit right there in the washer. There's one right here. We'll get that here in a minute. Okay. Yep. Had some trash fall out of there, and also my washer. So I got this dude out. Set this to the side. And now I got to get my 10mm socket. And we're going to take this guy off right here. It's a nut there. And then there's a 10 right here. The reason why you got to take this piece off is because there's a 10 in behind there for the tail light. Take that off of there. All right, now we're going to just kind of lightly pull this thing out. Okay, now if you look from the factory put a bunch of scotch, or what do you call it, electrical tape over this connector, like they almost kind of like knew it was going to be a problem, it seems like. I bring it a little closer. A lot of tape. See if I can wiggle the wires around, see if I can get it to mess up a little bit. Oh, this thing's getting hot too. I can feel it. I just put my hand somewhere. Yeah, this thing is hot. Getting really, really hot. So again, this doesn't take a whole lot of electrical diagnosing. Is, just feeling with your hand. Like that bulb on that back side of that thing should not be getting that hot. If you can take and move this thing around a little bit, yeah. And again, I can go like this. I can smell it. I can smell in there that's getting burnt. So let me go ahead and replace this one. Okay, just splice it in, and look, see how much more bright that is? That is so much more brighter. So I'm glad I ordered 2 of these things. So we'll put this guy back in here. I will say they were not the cheapest. The pigtails. I did see where somebody. Let me get this guy in here real quick. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. Alright. So, lot better. Lot better. Now, you could probably go in there if you're really on a budget and maybe splice in and cut into here if you wanted to, and try to rework that ground. But this is probably the best way to fix this. You get a whole new connector, and if this is 2025, this is an 01, so if that connector lasts me another 24 years, I say that's probably a pretty good fix. Okay, I got everything put back together, and I was checking over my work to make sure that my lights were bright and everything was working just fine. And I noticed that this side was dimmer when it came on the brakes. When I applied the brakes, that side was dimmer, the passenger side, than the driver's side. But then when I took the brakes off, the running light was brighter than that side. And I was like, what in the world is going on? What did I do wrong? And I'm going through just kind of checking my work real quick. And I said, let me check these bulbs. Somebody along the way had put a 1157 bulb in there, and it actually calls for a 2057. So if you need to replace that brake light bulb, it's a 2057. So that is the reason why. Now that I got two 2057s, you can see my brake lights are on, and now they are the same brightness, and my tail lights are also the same brightness now. So now my headlights are on, and it's kind of hard to see. These lenses really need to be cleaned up. Probably the whole thing just ought to be really replaced, but kind of hard to see. But they're both the same brightness now. So that one actually threw me just for a minute. It took me an extra about 2 minutes to figure it out. Like, why is this saying not the same brightness on each side? So make sure you check that. Like I said, it's a 2057 bulb that goes in there, and some jackwagon along the way they took a 3157, put it in there. Okay, that's all I have for this video. Like, subscribe, and share this video, because I pity the fool that doesn't do that. Okay, I will send the A-Team out after you if you do not like, subscribe, and share this video. Okay, all right, thanks guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Stay tuned.